Okay, welcome to another video on HTML forms, and today we are going to be looking at different form input types. I said earlier that HTML forms has about three sub elements, which is the input, the select, and the text area. These are basically the three sub elements, even though there may be others. So today we are going to be focusing on the input type. The input common element, which is actually the most frequently used. So I can say it's the most frequently used in HTML forms. Now, one of the attributes we'll be focusing on under the inputs form elements is the type. So most you always see we have something like input type, and the input type equals to put the type. So the list you have beneath here are the different types which we are going to consider, even though we may not treat all of them. But each of these ones will give you the input in a different form. For instance, if you want to collect the username, the input type will be text. So that's always the default actually. So the input type will be text. And if you want to collect email, the input type will be email. If you want to collect password, the input type will be password. If you want to collect image, the input type will be image. So let's see how it goes in this tutorial. Remember, I said actually whenever you want to begin forms, begin with the form elements. Form elements. This makes the computer know that whatever comes in between these two are parts of the form. So we are going to, without following any other, create a user registration form, and the aim of this is just to make sure that we try out most of these form type attributes. So I think we are good to go. Okay, let's go. The first one we want to do is, for instance, you want to collect name as first name. So the input type is actually text. Input type equals text. Always put it in quotation mark. You'll get to know why as we progress. Input type will be equal to text. And if I save it, come to refresh it here. So you have input type. So you see it can collect text. Alright. So another one, first name. Okay, so we are done with input type text. So I will just place a sign there. We can collect something like an email. Let's pick email. So you want to collect email, just add the person's email. So input type here will be equal to email. You see, the first one I used double quotation, and the second one I used single quotation. It doesn't matter for now, but later on I will get to explain which one you should use at a particular time. So let's review. So this is email. You notice that I did it in two different lines, but they appear in the same line because HTML does not understand the beginning of the new line unless we introduce what we call the break. That's just one of the ways. So once I do that, it's going to come into a new line. Forget about the arrangement for now. As we step into CSS, we are going to make the arrangement look later. So I actually may not want to use break. I may want to use div. Just a div. Div is just like a container. So once I have div, I can place anything anywhere. I can choose to turn off the light. I can simply copy and paste, and okay, I can simply copy and paste. That's what I said. I'm gonna paste this. So, and I pick another input type. This time it may not be email. Let's pick input type. Um, let's pick date. Input type date. So So I can change it to date. So I'll just add something like registration date. So you can predict. That will give us a few where you can select date. So you see you can select date. A quick one before we get to the end is to put the input type submit. So in that case, there will be no need for the label. So I will only say input type submit. Once you do that, you refresh, you are going to have the submit button. So if I put things here and put, oh, alright, you notice that since this is not an email, it said please include at to show that it's an email. So that's why we need to use specific input type. We'll get back to that. Another input type I want us to use, we've used okay, date local. Date local comes with date, and date time local comes with date and time. So you can just keep this. Okay. And, all right. I will still copy and paste. Notice that everything is in between the form section, the form elements. I opened here and I closed here. So we have an input type. Let's say date arrival time. So arrival time can be date time, local, date time local. Once you do that, it's gonna give you the date and the time. So you see, and simple. Now you may not necessarily have to use um, all of these in all instances. Okay, so another one I'm gonna use is input type file. Input type file. So like you want to upload an image, so you can use input type. So upload photo, for instance. Upload photo. So you can use input type image. Rather, okay, input type file, like when you want to upload any file. When we get to PHP, we'll specify which type of file we want to upload, so that if we want a user to upload just photos, it will be restricted to photos and not documents. So input type file, you can choose a file to upload, for instance. All right, we'll continue in the next class. Okay, another form input type we are going to consider is the reset. Input type reset. So the reset is used when you want to clear the contents of a form. For instance, you want to clear the content of a form. So what you have is just a button that you can use to erase the contents of the form. So this is it. So if, for instance, you were typing and you realize you've made a mistake, you can just click on reset and it will clear off the contents. A little more before we move further. Sometimes you may not want to have submit as the name, and of course if you try it in some other browsers like Internet Explorer, if you have it, you can try. You notice that instead of having submit, what you have there will be submit query. So it's always good to test across different browsers to know what your website will look like. So if I refresh it now, you see I'm going to have submit query, which is not really ideal, and then that form is looking different from what was original. Imagine this. So like the arrival time and date, you see it's not implemented on this browser. That's why it's always good to test across different browsers. And as a developer, you should have at least 4 commonly used browsers on your system so that you can always test to see how your websites will appear on these different browsers. So this is an Opera. So on Opera, I'm equally going to try to see what will be the outcome. See the way it appears on Opera. Opera is a bit closer to Google Chrome, which we originally used, but it's not the same as the Internet Explorer. So for you to take off this, you are going to add an attribute called value here. So once you say value, and whatever you want to add on the button should form value. You can say register now. Okay. So here now I can add value. Say clear all. So once you do that, it will change the name. You see, and even when you get to Internet Explorer, it will default